Chapter 1. The truth is, happiness really does come from within. Anyone who focuses on material items and finds that materialism brings little more than a tiny thrill that slowly ebbs away will find a great deal of value in "you can buy happiness." You don't need a big house, a fancy car, a high-flying job, and several overseas vacations every year to be happy. You need quality relationships, worthwhile experiences, and an ability to see the joy in the more minor things in life. "You can buy happiness" is a lesson we could all stand to learn. It was New Year's Eve, 2007, when our author, Tammy Strobel, had a lightning bolt moment. She saw a YouTube video by Dee Williams talking about how she had successfully downsized her house and felt happier and more fulfilled. Strobel and her husband were in a rut. They were in debt, they were working jobs they didn't enjoy, and they were far from happy due to it all. The video intrigued her and made her think that perhaps downsizing could be the answer to their problems. As a result, they began to downsize their home and give away the belongings they no longer needed. It felt good, and as time went on, the rut gave way to something much more fulfilling and inspirational. Is this a situation you recognize? We all find ourselves in ruts occasionally, seemingly unable to climb our way out, but looking for less than apparent answers may lead you somewhere far more joyful. If this is your situation, read on to revolutionize your life. Sometimes it's normal to feel like you're unsure which way to turn, but looking for ideas outside of the box can help. Chapter 2. You can find joy when buying material goods, but it will not last long. These days, we can buy more than ever before, but we're far from happy. The New Economics Foundation placed the U.S. at 114 out of 143 countries in the Happy Planet Index, which rates overall happiness. In addition, a 1976 study surveyed 12,000 18-year-old college students and asked about their general level of happiness. They repeated the same questions almost 20 years later and found that they were less happy at 37 years old than in their teens. Of course, at 37, they have a greater capacity to buy material goods. Spending to impress will lead to a world of problems. Before the decision to simplify her life, Tammy Strobel was in debt to the tune of $30,000. She loved to buy things but quickly found out that an attitude toward stuff can be very harmful. Sometimes you use your credit cards to buy something you can't afford, or you go out to that fancy restaurant that will make it near impossible to pay rent. For a while, it's great, and you have a surge of joy, but it doesn't last. Then you're stuck in a job you don't find fulfilling simply because you have to pay off the thing you really couldn't afford to buy at the time. Despite this, debt is on the rise. According to the Project on Student Debt, U.S. college students graduate with an average total debt of around $24,000, and you can add credit card debt to that. Most students begin their career already far into debt, working throughout their lives to pay it off. One of the reasons we get into debt is that we care far too much about what other people think of us. Tammy Strobel admits that she was in debt partly for this reason. She wanted a nice house and a quality car, which is all social proof of how well we're doing. However, we then compare what we have to others and come up short, leading to self-esteem damage. Did you know? Finland is regularly rated as one of the top happiest countries in the world. This is thought to be partly due to their proximity to nature. Chapter 3. Remember that spending won't solve your problems. If you're spending money that you don't have because you're trying to keep up with the Joneses next door, or you're trying to mask a problem, it's not going to work. Tammy Strobel admits that while she was never clinically addicted to shopping, she did use it to deal with difficult emotions and problems in her life. This is something many people can agree with. The light bulb moment that caused her to think about downsizing was also linked to getting out of debt. As a result, they decided to downsize their house, but she worried about what others would think. Would people think they were poor? Despite that, they moved into a one-bedroom apartment and downsized their belongings. The couple quickly began to feel lighter, proving that spending money isn't the answer to your problems. During a trip to Mexico, the couple encountered the Zapatistas. They saw how small things made them happy, such as painting murals on walls. They didn't have much, but that didn't stop them from building strong connections within the community and doing something that mattered to them. It was another light bulb moment. Learning from those who have less but choose to be happy is an eye-opening experience. From this, she decided to reconsider her relationship with material items seriously. She suggested you do the same, using the following ideas. When you travel, take less and see how you get on. Before you buy something, wait a while, around a month, to see if the urge goes away. If you buy something, give something away to charity to offset it. Chapter 4. The best way to tackle debt is to plan a way out of it. You will never be free from the grip of debt if you don't work to get rid of it. It takes time, and you need to put together a realistic plan that you can work through slowly and methodically. It's essential that you use credit cards only when strictly necessary, and even better, cut them up if you can. Try to reduce the amount of spending you have every month and keep it down to essentials. You can do that by creating a budget that you live by, but do your best to set aside some savings just in case of emergencies. Budgeting is a great way to take back control of your money while you slowly pay off your debts. If you find that your income doesn't stretch to what you need to pay off your debts slowly, find extra work to cover the gap. This isn't forever. However, be sure to celebrate each small milestone in your debt recovery plan, rewarding yourself with a coffee or a nature walk to say, "Well done." The decision to pay off your debt puts you on the path towards financial security. Addressing your debt may be an upsetting process, but it's a necessary one if you ever want to get rid of the burden. There is a lot of help and support out there for anyone in debt, so if you feel like you're not sure which way to turn, seek assistance. The most important thing is that you take action and don't just sit there, allowing the problem to worsen. Chapter 5. Downsizing your stuff will help you think more clearly. These days, Tammy Strobel and her husband live in a house on wheels that measures only 128 square feet. Despite that, it's a home they're proud of, and they feel happier as a result. I am still letting go of my stuff and feel lighter every day. Courtney Carver. To move into that home, they had to get rid of a lot of stuff, and while they were downsizing their belongings, they were often pulled back to, "I might need that one day." One day never comes, and by focusing on a day that might or might not appear in the future, you're not focusing on the here and now. Sort through your belongings and ask yourself whether you need them or want them. Don't save things for one day. As you do this, you will start to feel lighter, and you'll be able to see far more clearly because there aren't so many blocks in the way. Through the downsizing process, accept that some things will end up in the trash, but others can be sold or donated to charity. You could also try the 333 project. This means you try and minimize your wardrobe down to 33 items and wear them for the next 3 months. It's a challenge. However, for every item you give away or sell, ask yourself how to do more for yourself and focus on self-care. What areas of your life do you need to focus on? It could be your work, spending time with loved ones, etc. Downsizing your belongings can be a form of therapy in itself. The home Strobel and her husband live in may be small in size, but it's big in character. Tiny houses can quickly feel spacious if you design them in a certain way. Strobel suggests thinking carefully about what you do in the house and having a specific area dedicated to each activity. In addition, make sure you put items away when you come home and don't leave them lying around to clutter the space. Every single one of your items should have a place of its own. It isn't the size of the house that makes a home, but who is inside it. Chapter 6. Always remember that an authentic and enjoyable life is about experiences. The best experiences in life cannot be bought. These are about people we love, things we've always wanted to do, and places we've always dreamed of seeing. Focus on those rather than buying things with cash. Life shouldn't be printed on dollar bills. Clifford Odets. While it's true that money can't buy happiness, having financial freedom does make it easier. This all comes down to getting out of debt, not necessarily stockpiling a massive amount of savings. Write down the things in your life that are a priority. Create a bucket list of things you want to do before your days are over, and focus on helping others with the things you're good at. Focus on people and rewarding experiences, not things. Life's enjoyment is about the small items, such as the things that make you smile, make you curious, and imagine new possibilities, and the things that allow you to be mindful and in the moment. These all lead to the basic needs of life, such as support in social circles, love, happiness, gratitude, contentment, and satisfaction. Rather than dreaming of the latest phone model or the new car you want on your driveway, spend some time thinking about places you want to see. What do you want to do with your time? What experiences do you want to have, and who do you like to share them with? These are the things you will look back on when you're old and smile about, not another iPhone you bought. It's time to create your bucket list of must-have experiences. Dream and be brave. Conclusion. Living a simpler life leads to greater satisfaction and happiness. We do not need endless piles of stuff to be happy. We simply need to have the love and support of those we care about, a job that motivates us and brings us fulfillment, and experiences that take our breath away. By relying on material items to bring you joy, you're entirely missing the point. As You Can Buy Happiness teaches us, buying happiness isn't actually about buying stuff. It's about buying back the small moments in life and making more of them. When you're in your twilight years and you're looking back on your youth, you will either smile at the things you did and achieved, or you'll wish that you learned a few solid life lessons a little earlier. Experiences and memories are essential things in life. You might think that owning something will bring you great joy, and sure, for a minimal amount of time it will. But these days, trends move so fast that the latest model of any tech item is outdated within a very short amount of time, and something new has taken its place. The same can be said for clothing and footwear fashions. You're on a hamster wheel trying to keep up, but constantly slipping back down to the bottom and falling behind. Put simply, you're living a life of stress. In the end, stress will break you down, ruin your relationships, and make you utterly unhappy, not to mention unhealthy. We should all do what we can to minimize the amount of stress we experience in life. To that aim, simplifying your life could hit that target too. So, the lesson? Simplify everything by cutting out the stress and minimizing your life. As Tammy Strobel proves, living a simpler life can bring a tremendous amount of happiness and contentment. When you look back over your life, do you want to be happy about everything you've achieved, or do you want to look back with regret and sadness? Regret isn't fun. It's a far better idea to focus on enriching your life as a whole. Happiness is the aim. Isn't that what life is all about? Try this. Declutter your wardrobe, giving away any items you don't wear to charity. Sit down and work out a realistic budget to help free you from debt. Choose one thing every day to help work on a skill you have or one you're trying to develop.